The Stewardship Freehold Village, a 6-minute introduction for people living in rural and semi-rural areas under pressure to accept more housing. Please note that all images are for illustrative purposes only. They do not represent real places or real people. Please imagine that this is open land near to where you live, on some of which a planning application has been made to build 100 new homes. The houses will each be low-rise, attractive and slightly larger than a traditional 3-bed semi. Over 90% of each property will be made from natural, recyclable, primarily British materials. The houses will sit within an area large enough, shown here by the yellow outline, to provide all of the energy and fresh water needed by the community's households, and for their wastewater treatment and organic waste disposal needs too. In low-lying areas, this equates to around 50 acres. The estate as a whole will be larger still, sitting within a further area of land at least twice as large as that needed for the houses and their infrastructure. Hence the larger outlined area here is 150 acres in total. All of the additional land is to be rented for regenerative, that is to say soil nurturing farming, and cannot be built upon. The houses will all be of modular construction, so all major parts will be built in UK factories before being put together on site. Sitting slightly above the ground, the houses will have minimal impact on the land. Beyond a car park and deliveries bay at the entrance, the only vehicles on the estate will be bicycles and lightweight electrics, so all paths can be of low cost and, more importantly, low environmental impact. This matters because a central condition of the planning permission, if granted, is that the owners of the estate have a binding duty to ensure that its soils are nurtured and enhanced in perpetuity. This will protect the potential of all of the land to be used for growing food. Other conditions of the proposed planning permission include that the estate can only be owned jointly by those who live there, and that it is governed by a committee which is independently chaired and which includes voting representatives of the parish council and the local planning authority. Most importantly, as a condition of the planning permission and a binding Section 106 agreement, no additional homes can be built anywhere on the estate. So not only will the new homes be out of sight from almost all existing houses in the ward, they are also the only ones that will ever be there. Strictly limiting the number of homes that can be built across such a large area of agricultural land creates a way to turn the extreme differential between development and agricultural land values to advantage. Landowners rarely hope to secure development permission for more than a small portion of their rural land, say 3 acres in our example. Offered twice agricultural value for all of it, they're likely to find such an offer attractive, provided there is no fear of missing out on future expansion. This halves the cost per plot. Add to this the relatively low cost of large-scale modular housing, and this being a self-commissioned project, the lack of need for a typical profit margin, and the final cost per finished home looks much more affordable to local people on ordinary incomes. Thus, the houses in the Stewardship Freehold Village for which planning permission has, in our hypothetical example, been requested to be built near you will cost £200,000 each. Running costs for energy and water will be extremely low, improving affordability further still. Finally, while residents will need to use cars to go further afield, easy access to the main road, proximity to the nearby town and the reasserting of some old bridleways will encourage use of public transport, cycle routes and footpaths. The applicant for the new village is a not-for-profit group of those who would like to live there. They are mostly, not exclusively, younger people, keen to secure good homes for themselves and their families in a place they'll want to commit to. And they want to commit to living here because the Stewardship Freehold Village gives them a chance to be part of a different, soil-centred approach to land use. That approach does not see housing, nature and farming as mutually exclusive competitors, but as natural, complementary residents. Acting together, they address not only the housing problems we face in this country, but also the growing related issues of food and energy security, soil degradation, flooding and river pollution. A leading planning barrister has told the group that, even though it involves agricultural land outside development areas, their proposal is sufficiently architecturally and socially significant for the local planning authority to exercise its discretion under paragraph 84 of the National Planning and Policy Framework to grant permission for it to be built. The Stewardship Freehold Village concept thus seeks to address core valid concerns. Existing locals get good, affordable housing and a guarantee of no further development. farmers get an attractive route out for those retiring and a route in for the many young farmers seeking land for regenerative farming. And central government gets help with crises in housing, environmental degradation and food security in a way that will also provide an economic boost. The discretion to grant planning permission, however, rests with local politicians, which in many rural areas means district councillors. And given the precedents of recent years, they seem unlikely to grant that permission unless existing local residents are largely supportive. So the focus of this aspect of my research is how supportive might existing residents, perhaps like you, living near a proposed stewardship freehold village, be, and what might affect your level of support. If you would like to tell me, and so contribute to that research, you can do so anonymously via a simple 3-question survey to which there is a link below this video. Answering them should be interesting and even enjoyable. If you can spare the time, please raise any other questions or points you have in the text boxes available. All submissions are anonymous and the results will be shared with local councils, parish clerks and the relevant central government departments. Thank you.